is today?
Today is the Pride Parade 2016. Woo woo!
How does this year seem different than previous Prides?
Oh, the atmosphere seems to be quite a little more calm, a little more somber in regards to having to understand and come to terms with Orlando.
How do you respond to something as difficult as what happened in Orlando?
Be proactive. I personally felt that I hadn't really been doing my part to facilitate any change, and then unfortunately when that happened I realized that I had to step up my own game if we wanted to see any change, and I think that's been a hard lesson to learn.
Vibe, definitely it's somber, but it's also really uplifting because everybody cares and we all came out to support each other.
Last year it was just, I think, 1 week after the new law approving the same-sex marriages, and then it was quite a general enthusiasm.
At the front of the parade there were a bunch of people dressed as angels holding signs to the victims of the Orlando shooting, which was so nice to see.
Yeah, and then you see people at the same time partying right behind you. So there's a dual image.
How does the tone feel like this year versus like last year, especially like in contrast to the year at the gay marriage?
A lot more, I think, compassion and like kind of empathy. You know, everybody's always said like make jokes, and we're in the gay community, we're very snarky, we're very, you know, can be shady, can be sarcastic. But this year, you can definitely feel that the vibe is a little bit more love, and more just kind of like mutual, like recognition of like, I understand the struggle you're going through, because like unlike most minority groups, you know, you're not born into a family with your shared minority experience. So we experience it all together.
You work in politics a little bit, so how do you look at this whole event like from a professional standpoint, working in politics?
Well, I think it's really important that people, that like especially elected officials, understand the constituents' need to like be recognized and have these you know, like these issues be out in the forefront. And I think it's really great to see all of these elected officials marching.
To all the individuals in Orlando who have passed, who have lost our friends, families, anyone, I send my regards to you, and I know that you're not alone.
When I found out about it, I didn't find out at first that it was an LGBTQIA hate crime. So I kind of just thought it was like a crazy people in Florida thing. And then when I found out that it was a hate crime in like 2016 in Pride Month, that was obviously horrifying. And I hate that it took this for people to start really making a stand and to start really coming out and saying things about it. Especially like people that are in office and feel kind of comfortable with their positions, they're now realizing that like we're not as safe as we thought.
I think that this year is, you know, significant in the fact of all the recent events that have been happening with Orlando. You know, it's a big turnout and the showing of like not being afraid and being proud of who you are. Every year is like, we love who we are, we're having a good time, but this year is more important to show everybody that like we're not backing the fuck down. We are strong, we are proud, we are happy with who we are, and nobody's gonna take that away.
There's so much to like the hate crimes in the past few years, like just against like people of color and people in the LGBTQIA like communities, that it's so awful to see that, especially during Pride Month, when it seems that everything is getting better, that we can now get married in all 50 states. Like, it's different to see now.
When the things are difficult is when the feeling of family is stronger.
What would you say to someone who normally would want to come, but they're feeling a little bit afraid for justified reasons? What we want to say to them?
Even though there is a threat and there is a risk in doing this, I think you still have to come out because people need to see that we're not scared, and even if we are scared, people need to see that we're brave enough that we're not just gonna like hide in our houses just because something like this keeps happening.
It's a whole new level of importance for Pride that I don't think we've felt before. It's a whole new level of attending Pride.
We're strong enough as a community to keep going, and we've been through so much, like
it's like
in the past 50 years, that like stopping now would be so disrespectful to everybody who marched for like for ages now. It's like a historical
we have to
thing.
keep fighting.
We can't stop.
It could have been any one of us in any parts of the world, any parts of New York. And even we have been at Pride 2016 in Manhattan here. Sometimes I question, could it happen here now? Could it happen? Will it happen? So, you know, we are not exempted.
Could you say something to the people, the good people of Orlando, who are probably feeling pretty, having some really difficult times now?
I want you to know that I'm praying for you. I have been praying, and we're all there with you. And I want you to know that, like, this community, we all feel really close to what happened, and we all feel terrible. And we want to keep fighting.
It's a weird feeling to have because when things like this happen, you feel a connection, but when you're in the gay community and that happened to us, it's a different type of connection. I didn't know any of those people, but I cried every day. I had a connection to those people, even though I didn't know them. And that speaks to so many different levels of what it is to be gay and our community and our strength and support and our pride.
I feel everything for them. I cannot believe how awful it is, how strong they're being, how much support is here today for those victims. It's so good to see.
In contrast of the sadness that I feel when I turn on the TV here in the United States and I see this guy, Donald Trump, just promoting hate and basically hate, seeing these people here just promoting integration and respect is a fresh air to breathe today.
I think RuPaul put it best.
Yes.
We in the gay community get to choose our family. Don't fuck with our family. And you know, we may not have been there, but that could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've all reacted so much just shows like we love you, we support you, and don't give up. Be who you are. Be louder than you were before. Be who you are.